Great Lakes High School Sports Show is presented by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare.
Welcome inside the State Champs Sports Network. My name is Lauren Plant, and for 18 years, State Champs changed the way high school sports was covered in the state of Michigan. Welcome to State Champs, presented by Lawrence Technological University. 1,000 episodes, 8 regional Emmy Awards. We love high school sports so much, we want to share what's happening all over the Great Lakes.
I'm Jenna Skalski, and in 2018, we introduced ourselves to Indiana. But now, as Lauren just alluded to, we say hello to Pennsylvania, New York, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota.
That's right. We're recapping some of what took place during the month of January. Our top 5 dunks on the way, momentous moments, the Great Lakes football recruit report, and more.
But let's start with those January gems. Let's get to the highlights.
We start in Michigan, a huge wrestling meet. 2 nationally ranked teams squaring off. Number 3, Detroit Catholic Central, hosting number 16, Davison. Catholic Central are the 3-time defending state champs in the state, got things going in the 140-pound weight class. The Missouri commit Josh Edmond, the defending state champ at 135, only needed a minute to take care of Jaron Wilson to get the fall. Davison's Alec Facundo, the reigning state champ at 160, the top-ranked grappler in the country at the 171 weight class. He was taking on Cameron Adams, would dominate in this match. He went on to get the Tech Fall Cardinals, keeping it close. But it would be too much CC on this night. 215 class, Brendan Yatuma, the returning individual champ in this weight class, gets the awesome post-attack takedown in his match against Jimmy Collar. He went on to win. Detroit Catholic Central went on to beat Davison in this battle of the top 2 teams in the state. How about some girls basketball from the land of 10,000 lakes? Minnesota, the top 2 teams, one of the best rivalries in the state, Wayzata and Hopkins squaring off in a 1-versus-2 matchup. After the first half of play, Wayzata found themselves in the lead. Senior forward Annika Stewart picked off a pass, hit Mara Braun for the bucket. Trojans up 3, 35-32 at the break. But Hopkins regrouped in the second half, coming out strong thanks to services from the senior Paige Bukers. She led the Royals with 27 points. Sophomore Maya Naji recorded a double-double, 23 points, 11 rebounds. Hopkins defeats Wayzata 87-77. Now we head over to what took place at Hockey Day in Minnesota. Blaine Bengals taking on the Blake Bears and got off to a quick start. Cole Hansen gets the puck, gets the Blaine Bengals on the board just 27 seconds in. But the Blake Bears would take the lead in the second. Connor Mahoney gets a shot on goal, can't get it to go through, but Brett Witzke there to force it in. And with another goal in the third, the Bears went on to win this matchup 3-2. We now find ourselves in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a Catholic League boys basketball showdown between Roman Catholic and Newman Goretti. This was an instant classic in the making. Both teams tied at the end of regulation with 64 points up on the scoreboard. Both Newman Goretti and Roman Catholic each scored 4 points to end the first overtime period, but it was the fellas from Newman Goretti pulled away in the second overtime. The senior Jordan Hall led the Saints with 21 points. Your final score 77-69. Let's head to New York for more boys hoops. The 6th-ranked Archbishops stepping at Crusaders, hosting their rivals Iona Prep Gales. The Crusaders would start things off with future North Carolina Tar Heel R.J. Davis going to get it out to Luke Fazulik from behind the long line. The Gales had a response, and it would come in the form of freshman Colton Cashaw. The drive to the paint, finger roll, and 1. Davis went off for a double-double, 32 points and 10 boards. Crusaders led 35-29 at the break. But the Gales would come back in the second half. A.J. McNeil on the breakaway. He'll finish at the rack. Gales go on to get the upset in a close one, 66-61. Let's head back to Michigan for the nightcap of the Red Hawk Showcase in Grand Rapids. And we had a number 11 versus number 10 in the state matchup. The 2018 Division II state champs, 10-1 Benton Harbor, taking on the 2019 Division I state champs, 9-1 Ypsilanti Lincoln. Standing room only as fans flock to feast their eyes on two of the best players in the state, the Tigers' Scooby Johnson and the Rail Splitters' Imani Bates. Johnson, the rejection on Bates. Joseph Johnson then feeds to William Suggs, splashdown. All 13 of Suggs' points came in the first half. If you follow basketball, you know Bates is the number 1 player in the country for the class of 2022. If the NBA rules change to allow players to go to the NBA straight from high school, this dude is projected to be lottery. Second chance opportunity, bucket, and one. However, Ypsilanti Lincoln trailed by 16 at the half, 44-28. Benton Harbor put their foot down, never lifted it off its victim, the Mr. Basketball hopeful Scooby Johnson, and fuego. Hoop and the harm. The Butler recruit finished with a team high 19. Tigers led by 22 heading into the fourth. On paper, should have been a whole lot closer instead. The Trojans roll 73-51 the final. Girls basketball in the city of Detroit. Nationally ranked, the Edison Pioneers going up against the Lady Phoenix of Renaissance. Edison in red looking to win its 4th straight state title, coming in undefeated at 11-0. They have a Miss Michigan basketball candidate in Gabby Elliott. First quarter action, the Clemson recruit gets a pass from Ruby Whitehorn. She goes in for the hoop and the foul. Pioneers up 25-23 at the break. Renaissance with a 12-1 record. Micaiah Finley gets the ball in the corner. She knocked down the 3, gets the foul, the whole bench on fire, and we were tied up at 42 in the 4th. But Detroit Edison would hang on in the end. Shalana Wagner gets the ball back, and she puts it on in. She finished the afternoon with 9 points. Detroit Edison remained perfect at 12-0 with a 54-52 victory.
Hey, if you have the dream of playing college sports, Lawrence Technological University just might be the place for you to live that dream. LTU is located in the Metro Detroit area of Southeast Michigan, and the renaissance going here is quite incredible. Downtown Detroit has so much to do in terms of restaurants, clubs, sports. It's awesome. And Lawrence Tech offers over 25 sports that compete in the NAIA. Student athletes are earning athletic and academic scholarships every day. Recruit yourself at LTUathletics.com.
I'm on the Blue Devil football team, and that's a great place to be because other colleges wouldn't let me be both a football player and a nursing student. And just because I'm a dog on the field doesn't mean I can't take care of people. And man, do I love people. The small class size at LTU give me awesome access to my nursing professors. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
State Champs was created for you, the high school sports fan. If you've got great video, share it with us. State Champs is on all the social media platforms at StateChampsNet. Hey, it's basketball season. We love dunks. So here are January's top 5.
The Great Lakes produce a ton of hoop stars, and we pay homage to some of the finest we found for the month of January. Here's our top 5 dunks to start off the new year. We start in Wisconsin. La Crosse to be exact. Number 5, the Central High School senior Jonathan Davis set for takeoff, the windup, and the throwdown. Number 4, from Michigan, considered by some the number 1 player in the country in any class, Ypsilanti Lincoln star Imani Bates soars for the scintillating slam. Number 3, to Ohio. They say players have gotten bigger, faster, stronger. Check out the Cincinnati Woodward product, Davion Mace. The monster putback jam shatters the backboard. Boom! Number 2, from the Hoopball Classic 2020, Indiana versus Washington, D.C. Number 15 in the country, La Lumiere from Indiana versus number 22 in the nation, Gonzaga out of D.C. Check out the Purdue commit for La Lumiere. Jaden Ivey picks up the loose ball. Ivey selling posters. Booyah from the soon-to-be Boilermaker. Our number 1 dunk of the month, a collage. We pay tribute to that man from Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania, Kobe Bryant. Ever wonder why he was drafted right out of high school? He was a phenom, one of a kind. He was one of our own, and he will be missed. That rounds out your top 5 dunks from January. January's In the News bleeds a bit into February, as February 5th was National Signing Day. Believe it or not, the University of Kentucky catapulted into a top 25 class, thanks in large part to the 5 Ohio and 4 Michigan players joining the 2020 Wildcat class. And no, we're not talking about basketball. The biggest recruiting-related news, though, may have come out of East Lansing with the sudden, unexpected retirement of Michigan State's winningest coach, Mark D'Antonio. His departure will certainly have major ripple effects on future recruiting in the Great Lakes region. A pair of Great Lakes region schools were honored when the fall leaders for the Max Preps Cup were unveiled recently. Indiana's Carmel High School led the way on the boys' side after winning a state title in football and boys' tennis, while Lisle, Illinois' Bennett Academy shot to the top of the girls' standings after winning its 4th volleyball state title and first ever cross-country crown, while their girls' tennis team finished as state runners-up. The rosters for April's 43rd annual McDonald's All-American Games were released late January, with the Great Lakes region grabbing solid representation. R.J. Davis of Archbishop Stepinac in White Plains, New York is on the team, as is Prior Lake, Minnesota's Dawson Garcia. DJ Stewart of Chicago's Whitney Young made the cut as well. On the girls' side, Paige Bukers of Hopkins High School in Minnetonka, Minnesota, and Lexi Donarski of Aquinas in La Crosse, Wisconsin are on the squad, as are future Oregon teammates Angela Dugalik of Maine West in Des Plaines, Illinois, and Sydney Parrish of Hamilton Southeastern High School in Fishers, Indiana. Jess Murazik of Farmington Hills Mercy became the first Michigan volleyball player to win Gatorade's National Volleyball Player of the Year award last month. She's the 6th honoree from the Great Lakes region and the first since 2013. And finally, with baseball season right around the corner, Max Preps revealed who they believe are the top 10 high school baseball players to be selected in this year's Major League Baseball draft. Ed Howard out of Chicago Mount Carmel is ranked 4th and likely to be the first infielder chosen. And at number 3 is West Allegheny, Pennsylvania outfielder Austin Hendrick. One mock draft has Hendrick being the first high school player chosen. And that's January's In the News. Lawrence Technological University was first founded in 1932, and today the university sits on 105 acres in Southfield, Michigan. With over 5,000 students and over 400 full and part-time faculty, LTU is one of the largest independent colleges in the state, offering over 100 degree programs across 4 colleges. Sports at LTU were huge in the 40s and 50s, with basketball being one of the top teams in the nation. But athletics soon went away and didn't return until 2011. Now, there are 26 D2 level scholarships for men and women's sports offered at LTU, with most competing in the NAIA. We caught up with Lawrence Tech's athletic director to discuss the evolution of Blue Devil sports and what the future has in store.
I'm just amazed at how fast we've grown. You know, we started with 5 club teams back then, and you know, if I was to guess, I would thought we'd been at 16, 18 teams, but this year we're going to have 26 teams competing at a varsity level, so it's really grown very quickly.
If you are interested in learning more about Lawrence Technological University, log on to ltu.edu. To follow Lawrence Tech Athletics and even to recruit yourself, go to ltuathletics.com.
There are always some really cool things that happen in high school sports. Milestones, mesmerizing memories. We call this January's Top 5 Momentous Moments. We begin our top 5 look at some really cool moments that took place in January. The annual Under Armour All-Star Football Game took place early in January, and the number 1 player in the nation in ESPN's 300 is the wide receiver Julian Fleming out of Ellsburg, Pennsylvania. The Ohio State recruit hauled in a 42-yard touchdown. The Buckeyes did it again. Number 4 is also about an Ohio athlete. Hicksville's LANDON Turnbull broke the school's individual game-scoring record with a 45-point performance against Hilltop back on January 11th. The previous record was 40. And number 3 is even more impressive, as Chicago Aurora Christian's Taj Davis probably pulled off a feat no other high school basketball player in Illinois has ever done. Davis had two 50-plus point games on back-to-back nights and scores 112 points in one weekend. He began with a school record 58-point performance, followed that up with a 54-point game in double overtime in the win versus Chicago Christian. To number 2 we go, to Michigan, where we had quite a sight as Farmington United goalie Bryn Sommerfeld did what very few can. Scored a goal in the opposite net. In this 6-2 win over Milford, he did it, and he was flat out fired up. And number 1 is Macy Meyer, representing Hartford High School in Wisconsin. This buzzer beater from way downtown sent this game into overtime, and everybody was pretty happy about it. That's January's momentous moments.
This is Alan True from 24/7 Sports with this month's Recruit Report. Let's start in the state of Michigan, where 2 players from Muskegon High signed on Wednesday, the first day of the national signing period. One was quarterback athlete Cameron Martinez, a great player for the last 4 years of his high school career. Martinez officially signed with the Ohio State Buckeyes. He chose not to sign during the early period in order to wait and see who was hired to replace his area recruiter and position recruiter Jeff Hafley. That turned out to be Kerry Coombs, who built a great relationship with Martinez, who now heads to Columbus to play safety. Also at Muskegon, Billy Roberts, a senior offensive and defensive lineman, signed with Bowling Green. Roberts had offers from Power 5 schools, but chose to go with Scott Leffler and the Falcons. He will likely play offensive line for them at BG. Over in Ohio, one of the state's top running backs, Michael Drennan, signed with Kentucky. The Dublin Coffin star is a versatile back who catch passes out of the backfield and even line up in the slot, and envisions himself as a little bit of a Lynn Bowden type, one of the last great stars the Wildcats plucked out of Kentucky. Michigan State also signed a new player from the state of Ohio. That's defensive end Josiah Robinson, who committed to the Spartans late in the process. Did not have many offers coming in as schools were waiting on his academics, but once those were in line, he picked up a couple offers, including Michigan State. He's somewhat of a sleeper, but the last sleeper Michigan State got out of Madison was running back Le'Veon Bell, and that turned out pretty well for them. In Wisconsin, running back Rashad Lampkin signed with Illinois State. He's one of the state's most prolific backs over the last 3 seasons, 4,380 yards and 60 touchdowns in his 3 varsity seasons. It's a great pickup for the Redbirds. Then finally in Minnesota, St. Cloud Tech defensive tackle Isaiah Green signed with Northern Illinois. 6'3", 280-pound Green is one of the most disruptive linemen in the state of Minnesota and has lived in opposing backfields for the last few seasons. For this month's Recruit Report, I'm Alan True.
The great thing about everybody having one of these in your hands, you can capture clips you have to see to believe. Here's our first fan cam clip of the month. The cell phones are always rolling, and we have a great clip we found courtesy of @TriWeb on Twitter. Welcome to Turpin High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Dominic Cantrella with the ball, and that is your ball game. Go crazy, folks. Congrats, Dominic, and that is your fan cam clip of the month. We hope you enjoyed the first State Champs Great Lakes High School Sports Show. Connect with us on social media and submit your February clips. Hey, if we like it, we'll use it.
That's right. We'll see you next time on the State Champs Great Lakes High School Sports Show.
State Champs Great Lakes High School Sports Show is presented by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare.